Greetings, fellow adventurers, welcome back. Or perhaps should I say, be welcome, my fellow sinners. Today we're gonna talk about one of our favorite demons, Meliodas. The Seven Deadly Sins is a very popular anime out there, and if you are one of the ones that stick on to the end, I'm sure you were very surprised with all the secrets revealed by the end of the series. Now, about Meliodas, he's nice, charismatic, and you look at him and you think that he has everything figured out. But as the episodes pass by, you realize that everything couldn't be more different. Meliodas was the son of the Demon King. He was everything that Daddy could wish for, strong and the perfect successor. That was, of course, until Meliodas started to question things. During the Holy War of 3,000 years ago, he fell in love for a goddess. He realized all that fighting was pointless, he switched sides, and he got to be known as the traitor of the demon race. Now, if in real life messing around with people more powerful than us can get pretty messy, imagine this anime where he was messing around with gods. Because of his little rebellion, Meliodas and Elizabeth got cursed, and for 3,000 years they faced a lot of challenges and suffering. However, during this period, a lot of things happened and a lot of lessons were learned. Curious? Well, let's find out. Lesson 1. We cannot get everything when we want. Everything that Meliodas ever wanted was to live in peace with the love of his life, Elizabeth. No wars, no fights, just living a calm and happy life. However, it took more than 3,000 years for him to get what he wanted. Now, as far as you may not have to wait this long to achieve your goals, it's important to understand that, unfortunately, things don't happen when we want them to happen. This doesn't mean that you should give up, but understanding this as early as you can will help you to ease a lot of frustration you may have to deal in the future. There are a lot of things that are not under your control, so focus on what you can do and be patient. As long as you're doing your part, the time will take care of the rest. Lesson 2. You don't have to carry everything on your shoulders. At the beginning, you may not understand what I'm gonna say, but there were so many revelations at the end of this series that made me feel very sorry about how Meliodas was carrying so much on his shoulders. There is no need for you to follow in the same path. If you have friends or family you can count on, you should open yourself more often. There is no need to carry everything on your shoulders. Try to share your fears and struggles with others. They may be able to help you, and even if they can't, it's very important to feel like you are not alone. People care about you more than you can imagine. Sometimes everything you need to do is to give them a chance to help you, and after that, I'm sure the magic will happen. Lesson 3. Always be loyal to who or what you love. Meliodas made a promise to Elizabeth, and he never went back on his word. He was loyal to his love for countless years, and he did everything he could to save her and also to protect everything he believed. In real life, it may be easy to lose sight of what truly matters to us. Sometimes something new can pop up to our lives, and we may lose sight of what we truly want or we truly need, so we need to be very careful with that. I'm sure you don't want to lose an opportunity or a loved one because you got too carried away with something else. So always keep your mind focused on what's really relevant for your life. Lesson 4. Charismatic people often hide their feelings very well. Anyone who would look at Meliodas would think he had the perfect life. He was always calm and he had a beautiful smile on his face all the time. But from all the characters in this series, very likely he was the one that was suffering the most. Surviving a curse and seeing the woman he loved dying more than 100 times, that was definitely very hard. And yet, he was still able to hide his feelings from most of his friends, and he was always smiling and trying to make others smile too. That leaves us a reminder that many times a smile is actually hiding a very deep suffering. So be mindful out there. Many times charismatic people are facing hardships you know nothing about. Or worse, many times people are taking pictures and smiling and enjoying themselves, but actually they are crying and facing a depression every single day. We never know what other people are dealing with, so be very mindful of that when interacting with others. Lesson 5. Accept the difference. Meliodas could be friend of anyone. Goddesses, demons, vampires, dolls. Humans, fairies, giants, you name it. He could be friend of anyone. He didn't care about their physical appearance, where they came from, their beliefs. As long as you had a good heart, you could be his friend. We should all follow his example. We shouldn't care about what someone's religion is, what they look like, where they come from, or which kind of music they like. As long as they have a good heart, that's everything we should focus on. So let's try to keep that in mind. Lesson 6. Use your free will. Meliodas was the successor of the Demon King, but a beautiful day he realized that wasn't for him and he became a traitor. That was definitely not easy for him to do, but he used his free will and he did it anyway. We should all follow his example in real life. We shouldn't go with the flow all the time. If you don't want to do something, you shouldn't do it. For example, we often think about excuses when someone invites us to do something, but we shouldn't have to do it. Like, saying that you don't want to do something should be more normalized. Or let me rephrase it, respecting someone's wishes should be more normalized. Saying, I don't want to go to a party because I don't want to may sound rude for some people, but this actually should be more normalized because it's normal to don't want to do a few things. Not because we have something better in mind to do, but sometimes you just don't want to do anything, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong in not wanting to do something. You can always say maybe some other time if you feel like it, but never force yourself to do something if you don't want to do it. Lesson 7. It doesn't matter what others think about you. What truly matters is what you think about others. Meliodas passed this big lesson to Arthur, so it had to be on this video. And I think he said that to Arthur. We often think too much about what others think about us, usually because we want to be accepted or respected in some way. But is that really necessary? I bet a lot of people, at least once in their lives, wanted to be accepted by someone they didn't even know properly. And the question that stays is, do we really have to be accepted by someone we barely know? The questions we should be making here is, how do you feel about this person? What do you think about them? Do you respect and admire them? Make sure you ask yourself these questions before you look for approval or acceptance of someone else. Lesson 8. The past is not more important than the present. We talk about this a lot in this channel, but people love to judge. It can be natural to want to point a finger to someone to avoid our own problems or mistakes, especially when we are talking about someone's past. A lot of people find hard to separate the present from the past. Meliodas, for example, he was the leader of the 10 Commandments. He was a bad person in the past. Well, he actually just did a lot of bad stuff, but in the present, he was actually a good person and he left his past behind. Understanding his own change allowed him to be more sensitive to others. He would never question someone's decision or someone's past. Everything he would always focus on is someone's present, and we should all do the same. We all said or did something we wouldn't do again in the present because we learned. Life can be a great teacher, so be mindful of that and try to care less about people's past. Lesson 9. No one is 100% good. In series or in real life, people love the idea of bad and good. Or the person is a little angel, or the person is a little devil. But reality couldn't be more different, and Meliodas is proof of that. Besides being from the demon race, Meliodas was kind, funny, he cared about others, and he had so many good qualities, besides his cooking, of course. In any case, the same scenario applies for real life. No one is 100% good or 100% bad. We all have darkness inside of us. We all have traits that we would prefer people to not know anything about. But we should embrace this negativity and try to transform into something positive when possible. We are all imperfect, and the sooner we realize and accept it, the better it will be for all of us. Lesson 10. We all lose control at some point. Meliodas always seemed calm. He always had a smile on his face and he wouldn't get angry easily. However, every time he couldn't protect those he loved, especially Elizabeth, he would lose control of his temper. And the perfect example of that is what happened in Dana 4. In real life, no one's gonna be in good moods 100% of the time. We all have something that bothers us, and most of us are not so good vibes as Meliodas, so something as simple as having a bad day can work as an excuse to lose our temper at the end of the day. Of course, we should always do our best to control ourselves, but losing control to anger, fear, frustration will eventually happen, so it's important that we keep that in mind, especially on taking easy with others when they are facing a hard moment in life too. Lesson 11. You can lie to yourself all you want, but you cannot fool your own heart. This is another quote of Meliodas that leaves us with a very big lesson. There's no point lying to ourselves. Deep down, we always know the truth. We always know what we want, what we don't want, and we also know a lot of things that we prefer to deny because we are not mentally ready to deal with them right now. There's nothing wrong with taking your own time when dealing with difficult situations, but creating faking scenarios and lying to yourself won't actually help in the long run. So always remember to keep your facts straight. Lesson 12. The good you do to others will find its way back to you. Meliodas was always good to others, and because of that, people would always be willing to give him a hand. Now, in real life, a lot of people don't believe in karma, and that's fine, but the chances of someone being good to you because you are good to them first is very high, because the opposite is also true. If you start being disrespectful with someone, the chances of the other person giving you the same kind of behavior is very high. So if you want to have a positive environment around you, start by being a good person first. Of course, you shouldn't do anything expecting something in return, but being a good person out there is an excellent first step to create a better place. Now let's grab our imaginary boar's head ale and talk a little bit. Please share in the comments your favorite moment of the 7 deadly sins. For me, there are so many, but in this last time I watched, I think my favorite moment was when Ben went to the purgatory to rescue Meliodas' emotions. Okay, now, before we jump to the conclusion, please share in the comments or in the form I'm leaving on my description a hard moment you've been facing lately, or perhaps a nice life lesson you learned. And remember that your answers will help to shape the content we see in this channel. To finish, The 7 Deadly Sins is an amazing anime, and it has a great ending, which is even better. All the characters can teach us a lot of lessons, but Meliodas would be in the center of everyone's lives. He was responsible for saving and helping many people, and it has also proved that many times to be someone memorable, everything we need to do is to have a good heart and believe in others. Meliodas would always offer his time and assistance without a second thought, and we definitely need more people like that out there. Well guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please support the channel with your like and subscribe. If you think this video can help someone else, please share. And I'll see you next time.